idea that I'm losing my mind to be telling Ma'lan Yusuf that I'm right, even if he says I'm wrong. Unheard of. I say, sir, I'm sure. And I am sure. I read it in a book my mother, Halima, gave me. My mother is an educated woman and she would expect me to stand up for the facts. I have no intention of changing my answer to Saudi Arabia. Ma'lan Yusuf holds back. He's thinking I might be right. But if he accepts my answer, he's saying it's okay for every other student to come up with information that might take the class to all sorts of ridiculous places. In the end, he gives in. It's the best thing to do and a big relief for me. Yes, he says. Australia? Of course. More animals than people. Australia. I sit down again at my desk, dizzy with pride. A question has been asked, an answer given. It pleases me that I have been able to match the two. I'll tell you the truth. Knowledge delights me. I'm bursting to get home and tell my mum. A question has been asked, an answer given. Knowledge. There are moments in our lives, maybe almost forgotten, that much later begin to shine so brightly that they throw a light over everything we have ever done. A day is coming when I will have the good fortune to speak for hours about Australia and Australians. A day when I will become an Australian citizen, buy a house and start a family in one of my new country's great cities. Win some praise for the work I do in migrant communities. But on the day of Ma'lan Yusuf's question, a life in Australia is as far from anything I can imagine as living on the moon or the bottom of the sea. The life I can imagine has Mogadishu at its beginning, middle and end. Most of the events that will soon turn my city into the most dangerous place on earth, full of intrigue and violence, are yet to happen. Mogadishu still has some of the charm of its famous past when it was ruled by the Muzaffar dynasty and it was known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. Dhows laden with cargo from the Arabian Peninsula arrived in fleets. Caravans of camels loaded high with fabrics, spices and pewter made their slow way to the city from Cairo, from Ethiopia, from Sudan. Mogadishu was filled with the noise of commerce, the happy sound of people making a good living. The city was said to be the most beautiful on the African coast, the white walls of its villas glittering under blue skies. What remains of Mogadishu's beauty in my time is found in the city centre and a couple of classy suburbs with views of the ocean. The rest of the city is either the well-known mud brick houses and blocks you see in every East African city, or concrete structures painted white or shanty towns on the outskirts made from corrugated iron, plastic sheeting, cardboard and hardboard. The first inhabitants of what would become my city kept close to the shallow harbour, and for centuries Mogadishu was all about the ocean. Even today, Mogadishu is not much more than a strip of a coast with a desert behind it. The harbour trade these days is not what it was in the past. A breakwater reaches out into the ocean, providing shelter for vessels that don't sit too deeply in the water. The monster ships of the 20th century cannot dock here. The only true natural harbour of Somalia is found much further north at Berbera on the Gulf of Aden. With the hell to come not yet guessed at, I experienced Mogadishu as a type of paradise. My family is not well off, but nor is it among the poorest of Mogadishu. If I can't have anything I want, it doesn't matter much because most of what I want is free. Football, the beach, the love of my mother, books, learning. And of course, my father's love too. Far from Mogadishu though he is. Dad took a position as chief